Welcome back, Syndicate Members. It is I, Joshua Mammoth, back once again with another independent comic book review. Rachel's joining me again tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing really great. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful.
As always.
Tonight we're going to review a book that we picked up from Ancient City.
Yes, and this was another great one. This was Riff Riders from Arrow Comics.
And so we got to meet Luke Stone at his booth at Ancient City.
Yes, and we were able to do that interview that we had in the previous video.
And that was a really cool interview, and I was actually really amazed by his story.
Oh, it was so awesome. Really inspirational. I loved it.
Now, as far as this book, we were looking through some of the books, the next book to review, and when I read through this one, I really thought this one was going to be right up your alley.
Oh, it definitely was. As soon as I saw that it was in space, that was going to be mine.
And it had a lot of really cool sci-fi stuff in it too.
Oh, definitely. Well, already it was in the in different dimensions. Every character came from a different dimension, which I thought was really great. And then also, just the ship itself looked.
The ship was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll definitely get into that later because I wrote some stuff down about that. So we'll go ahead and put an overlay of the cover up here, Trevor. This is Riff Riders #1 by Arrow Comics, published by Arrow Comics. And so this one, I actually saw on their stand that they had on the side there. And there was something about this cover that I really liked.
Well, I think it's just really eye-catching. I mean, you have three characters kind of literally running at you. You got the ship behind them. It's almost like in a star, in a warp drive type of look, It's really cool.
Also, what should be said, too, because the writing's really good in this, and these are the only three characters really in this book.
Yes, these are definitely the main characters, but also almost the only characters.
I mean, there's like a little couple of, side people in there, but no one with nothing to say.
No, definitely.
Yeah, so it's just these three characters, and their interactions and everything is what I really liked about it. So, you ready to get into this?
Oh, right on.
Okay, so, right away, this starts off pretty cool.
Yes.
Because they're dressed up. And they're coming from a New Year's Eve party, and then not just any New Year's Eve party, though.
One from 1922, and you can definitely see with the art that's here, with the different outfits that they have on, it's definitely from the 20s.
Yeah, he did a really good job with that.
Yes.
Actually, I have the artist name here. This was John Dillard, and he was the artist on the book, and then Edgar Tavitas was colors. And that was one thing I really liked too, was the colors on this.
Oh, it was amazing.
It kind of, had that, cartoon aspect to it that I really like to see.
Oh, I agree.
So they get back from this New Year's Eve party, and they're just kind of discussing the events of what to do next.
Yeah, and it seems like one of the characters, he just wants to go to the beach, lay out by the sun, maybe have a few drinks. I am down with that.
And it's kind of cool, too, because the suggestion that the character makes, Israel, he suggests a planet in another dimension, but he's like, but we have to get there before that other sun explodes.
I know. I love that they already know that these things are going to happen. I think that's great.
And so from here, we really start getting into it pretty quickly.
Oh, definitely. They set the coordinates, they're ready to go, and all of a sudden, bam, they just hit something, and they don't even know what's going on. And
this, for me, kind of felt like a sci-fi show. Because, they're in it, they're like, okay, they kind of wrap up an adventure, they're going to another adventure, and then right away they run into like a space anomaly of some type.
And isn't that always the way? You're always just trying to go get a little bit of, rest and relaxation, and something always comes up.
And this is the part that I thought was cool. So Israel decides that he's going to put on a suit and actually go out there and try to collect the part of the anomaly to study it or test it.
Yes, exactly. He thinks that's the only way that they're going to figure out what this is, why they can't go. So that's exactly what he does. And he gets out there and The other crew isn't too happy with him, though.
Yeah, and what I was kind of wondering though is, I guess the sensors aren't too good.
Well, because I assume it's because of the type of anomaly it is. That's why it's actually not that good. Because it's almost, and it explains it later, that it exists as both physical matter and pure energy.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. And because the fact that matter has mass and it takes up physical space, the energy does not. So I think that's why everything is so...
Wow, you really read this one quite a bit. Huh?
I like this one a
lot. Honestly, when I was reading it, I was like just fascinated by the art in it. I liked it so much that I kind of felt like I was staring at it from time to time. And
oh, I agree completely, because it was just that dynamic where you could just see the different dimensions with everything, different facial expressions. It really was just something great to just look at. But again, I loved just the sci-fi aspect of it and just a little bit of science in there.
And so when Israel gets out there, he has some type of collection.
It looks like he's some vials or something that he's like, okay, I'm going to try to collect this. He's not too sure how, because now, of course, he's realizing that this is some kind of energy and he can't just scoop it up like he thought.
And so then also we see a creature that lives in the vacuum of space.
Yes.
Which...
that's scary.
Yeah, and I thought it was kind of funny. It was by Riva. Riva. And she referred to it as a rift roach.
Yeah. I thought that was funny. I thought the same thing. I'm like, is it a tick? Is it a roach? Is it some kind of hybrid?
I kind of thought it looked like a tick as well.
Yeah. Don't want that on the dog.
So, Israel pretty much just ignores the creature, though.
Oh, yeah, he just kind of dives over, and he's like, it's fine. And honestly, the creature kind of loses interest pretty quickly.
And so he finds out, though, that he's not able to gather the specimen.
Yes, so he comes up with a very creative idea of how to do that.
Yes, actually, I love this idea. This was really cool. So he decides to intake it into his oxygen.
Yes. And he just thinks, okay, I'm just not going to breathe for a minute and I'll just be able to load this all in. Of course, again, the crew does not agree. And I got to say, this was a little risky.
And I actually tried to hold my breath for a minute.
I did not.
It didn't work out.
No, it doesn't.
So he intakes it, and then he's telling the crew, hey, you got to bring me in quick. Mm-hmm. And so that's basically what they do. But in the process of it, they end up damaging the suit.
Well, yeah, he's just like, hey, I got to get him out of here. He's literally doesn't have any oxygen, so he rips that suit, and he's, okay, sighs, little relief, and he survived. So I guess it was all good in the end.
And they were able to collect the specimen and put it into, I guess,
into the centrifuge.
Centrifuge, yeah.
Yes.
And then that's when they really start learning some stuff about this.
Oh, yes. Well, obviously, they all, a little exhausted, so they go take a nap for a little while. And then after that...
Well, before that, let's discuss this nap. Because they're stuck in an anomaly, and there's a giant rift roach that you could clearly see from the bridge. And she says, she kicks her feet up, just like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just take one right now.
Well, I mean, you're stuck there. You got to sleep. Sleep is very important. So,
yeah, you're right. I mean, what
else are you going to do?
I just don't know if I could do that like by looking at that thing.
She's on a chill level that I approve of.
Well, so what happens after that?
So, River wakes up and she's looking at the centrifuge and she's like, you know what? Let's just see what happens. And she literally just picks one right out of it.
While it's twirling.
Yeah, and just doop, doop.
Like, that's actually really good dexterity.
Oh, right? I couldn't believe that.
Maybe she's like the fighter of the group. And that's what I like about this book, too, is there's not really like any origins of these guys.
Oh, it just dives right in.
And then they refer to Israel as as a human, but then they're like, well, he's not a normal human.
Yes, and it seems that way because, one, he almost looks like a child, but he obviously is not a child by any means. His mentality, his intellect, everything.
Well, but his dress, though, is pretty dapper.
You always remember the dress. I love that.
And so yeah, I'm guessing she must be like the Dexter's. Maybe she's the pilot.
Oh yes, maybe that's why she has such good reflexes. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the point where Israel actually comes in and realizes what she does, and yeah, they definitely start arguing, and she's mad at him though for being reckless. He's mad at her. It's kind of funny though.
It's kind of like when you walk into your coworkers arguing in the break room, sort of, because they were kind of in the break room.
It's so true.
When the third character walks in, what was his name?
Oh, he did have an awesome name, and
because we had to, we read this book a lot, and the names are in there, but you gotta look. You gotta dig.
And I believe it's Lunos.
Lunos.
Yes.
So
awesome
yeah, he walks into this fight.
Oh yeah, he does, and he's just like, "What is going on?" So of course they all start arguing, all start just kind of going through everything. And that's when, it's not good. The creature comes back.
See? I told you. And she just takes a nap. What happens if they were napping when this thing goes on there?
And sure enough, that's exactly what happens. So because of that, Reeve actually says it's obvious what needs to be done now. And then moments later, they're on Earth. But not just any Earth, Earth 279 in the year of 2084.
Yes, 2084. And it was Earth 279. And
that's right.
Yeah, it was Earth 279. And what's really cool about it, though, is that it's not a normal, like, it looks like Earth, but the buildings definitely don't look normal, right?
Oh, definitely not. They're almost like dome shaped, and
it looked like a settlement of some kind.
Well, even they were saying it doesn't look like how it normally should. So even they were a little taken back by it. But I mean, the scenery looked awesome.
And actually, we'll put an overlay, Trevor, of this. This was like a crossover splash page here.
Oh, amazing too!
Of the Earth planet that they're on, and I really like this one. I really like this.
I do too, because again, you can see the ship in the background. You can just see all three characters in their outfits and everything. I think it looked amazing.
Yeah, this was cool. Like it just looked really cool. So once they get there, they realize though that the population are more like primates. I guess
definitely more primitive than they were expecting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so which is weird because the settlement there doesn't look, like cave people would be living in it.
No, it's almost like I'm kind of thinking like an upgrade from that, maybe, because they do have structures, not, caves.
Interesting.
And they do have, I believe they said they had different weapons or tools, I think they said.
But maybe it's because, like Israel was saying here, is that they're de-evolving.
Oh, that's right. So, yeah, they're just going back to what they, I guess, came from.
Like that Star Trek episode.
That is one of my
Genesis
episodes.
So, yeah. So the inhabitants of this are de-evolving, and which is strange because I would be scared that maybe there's something in the air.
Oh, that's true. They just kind of landed there and didn't even think to do any study, especially with everything going on.
I think I put one of those suits on before I stepped out of there. I mean.
That's kind of classic sci-fi, just jumping in and not even thinking.
That's how you get quarantined.
You have to rub that gel on them like everybody.
So, what happens then?
So, unfortunately, they're talking to the natives there, and obviously...
I don't know if talking is the right way to describe that.
Well, the natives are very interested in them, especially...
They're friendly.
Oh, they're very friendly, and the child loves Israel because... as Reba says, she thinks they're the same age, so that's why the kid thinks he's cool, and Israel did not like that at all. So they're, just talking to the people. They're all looking at her hair and just kind of going through, and then, of course, all of a sudden, not good.
Rift Roach.
The Rift Roach comes right back up on top of the building. I'm like, you brought that to these nice people.
This was an awesome splash page, too.
Oh, another amazing one.
Yeah, I really like the angle of this one, like the perspective, and you could see the riff roach coming in from the ceiling.
Yes.
Like literally, like just clawing
see
its
that
way
little,
through.
That little claw. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not fun. It's
and so
pretty scary.
And this is the the cliffhanger.
Yes. All of a sudden, to be continued. I'm like, I need to know. Are they going to die because of Reva? She's like, oh, we got to get out of here again. I'm like, well, where are we going to go?
And because we didn't discuss this, but after the testing, they figured out that it's like actually like a fungi.
Oh yes.
And like the anomaly that they were in before. Trevor, put that overlay up there. And then so the anomaly was like a thinking.
Yes, it was based on thought. They thought originally maybe it was through light because of the luminescence, I believe. Right. But they realized that actually wasn't the case. It was more based on thought. That was very
and this was manipulating like the time space
that they were in, because all the characters were from different dimensions. At least that's what it kind of alluded to in the beginning. And it just kind of seemed like it messed up their whole timeline, as it were.
Right, like their timeline, dimensional line, whatever you want to call it. Like they actually had a little computer readout of it.
That was so cool. I studied that for a while. I loved it.
Yeah, they had a computer readout of it, and it showed like kind of like Back to the Future when they took the almanac to 1965. It was sort of like that, and so that's what I was wondering at the end. I'm like, okay, but where are they trying to go to?
Well, see, and I'm thinking because of everything being messed up with that blob anomaly, that everything could be different. Even their own dimension that they go to could be completely different now. And
another thing too, did they bring that rift roach in there with them? Did that come in there and attack because of them?
Well, why? I mean, I would think so. It had to have come on the ship, I would think.
So they need to be more careful, obviously, because if they go to another dimension, first off, these guys cannot fight off one of these things. I mean, maybe the main characters can, but definitely not.
Well, barely them. Look, they just keep running from it.
And that was from when they were on the ship.
Yeah.
So this seems pretty deadly.
Yeah, I would not want to. I wouldn't want to be next to that. It scares me.
Okay, Syndicate members, it's time for our breakdown analysis.
Yes.
So first off, we like I mentioned before, we picked this biscuit up at Ancient City, and we picked it up from Luke Stone.
Yes.
And we got to hear a little bit about his story, and got to see a lot of his books, which we have another one that we're going to be reviewing too, but we'll get into that later. So what did you like about this book?
Well, I really like the fact that the group was from different dimensions.
That was cool.
I always love different dimensions because honestly, then anything goes. And it just makes it a really interesting story because you can really get whole different worlds, but in a whole dimension. So you can have the same world in each dimension. It's just amazing.
And I'm a big Palladium fan, so the dimensional aspect was definitely intriguing for me. And I actually put the sci-fi aspect as well. It was actually nice just to see a pure sci-fi.
Yes.
Because we haven't seen one, just a straight sci-fi one in a while. I mean, at least without any decapitations.
No, this is why I was so drawn to this one. Because, I mean, I love sci-fi. Anything in space, especially ships, I'm all about it. So I just thought this was a great concept, and I just thought they were a fun little group of people. And
they all had their quirkiness, and all of their characteristics were different.
Yeah, that's what I really liked about it, actually.
Now, I put on here, I liked the multiple wardrobe changes.
Oh, they were so good.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It showed all the detail from the first scene where they're in the 1920s to, then they're in their space outfits and they're just in their regular gear. And then even the last page, they're, like she's in a dress, I think, and he's in a different outfit. So, I mean, it just looks really good.
Yeah, I enjoy that because, sometimes you see, the same costumes. Like, I mean, I know Joppa City, they're always in the same outfit every time. It's just, I'm not that good, I guess.
Whatever.
But, no, it is cool. It's like, with Luis Diaz in Video Witch, like, she has multiple wardrobe changes.
Oh, yes, I love that.
And I appreciate that. Shout out to Luis there. So another thing too, I I actually put that I liked that she went to sleep in front of the Riff Roach.
I love that too. It just shows her real, just like real chill personality.
She obviously wasn't that worried about it at the time.
She's like, what am I gonna do? I know. I love to. I really like the fact that the story just jumps right in.
Yes.
I thought that was great. Sometimes there's just too many origin stories out there, and sometimes I just want to get right into the action stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Every now and then I do enjoy a good origin story, but sometimes I just want the number one issue just to be like, here they go.
Because I think on Origins, you should honestly do that once you establish the characters, and then I kind of want to know more about them.
That's true, because I find that if I build a character, then I'm trying to write a story around the powers of that character rather than just try to write a good story. So I definitely would agree with you on that. See, I said definitely. I put that I really liked that I felt like this was a Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh, that's such a good point. Yeah.
And the color aspect of it, the characters, just a lot of the paneling in it was really good.
And it was like a high impact, real high energy, and I just love that.
Yeah, it just kept going.
Every page, I'm like, uh-oh, what's happening now?
That's why I'm definitely interested in seeing number 2.
Oh yes,
because certainly it's gonna just build up.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah, I really liked honestly the look of the ship, all the control panels, the computer screens, even the outside of the ship. I just thought it was a really cool concept.
Yeah, there were actually some paneling in here that I really, really liked.
Oh yes.
It was when the computer screen was like reflecting off their face,
Yes. See,
and
all
vice
of
versa.
Screens, they were so vibrant.
Overlay that. Yeah, like that was pretty cool.
Vibrant, and again, when we were talking about with the dimensions, that you got to see the different map of it.
Yeah.
The detail of that, it was really cool. I really appreciated that.
I do too. I appreciate the attention to detail.
Yes.
Now I really like the bridge setup.
Yes, it was good. I always love a good bridge.
I mean, traditional, but not like, it wasn't overly fancy. It was perfect.
You don't need a whole elaborate bridge sometimes. I mean, of course, it looks really, amazing when it's huge and everything else, but especially for 3 people, they don't need some.
And it's like you had the seats there and they look comfortable.
I know. That's the ones you want to sit in.
And I also put that I enjoyed the time, space, and dimensional aspect of this book.
Yes.
And Joppa City also is like a dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the city itself isn't, but there's other dimensions that they go into through Joppa City,
mm-hmm.
and so that's why I was like, wow, this is cool. Like I like that other people, have similar ideas about that.
Yeah, and again, I just really liked the group as a whole. I thought the 3 different characters were just so they were funny. They were entertaining, but they were so good together. I thought they really complemented each other.
That's true.
Without, because they were kind of fighting. It was almost like a, kind of family. They were kind of fighting with each other, but like in a, oh, I'm so worried about you. Why would you do that? And I just thought it was really cool how he portrayed that.
And also, the lettering on this was great.
Oh, I loved it.
It was really good.
I thought it was so cool how they did the different things where someone was out of a screen or out of the shot. Mm-hmm. It was a different kind of bubble, so it kind of helped distinguish, who was talking. I thought that was a great idea.
It was well thought out too because of the way you could follow the bubbles.
Yes.
And so I was like, wow, man, they put some thought into this lettering here.
I agree.
So I put that. I just talked about this. The paneling.
Yeah.
The paneling was amazing in this.
Again, I just loved the look of it as a whole, really. The lettering looked amazing, the paneling, the colors, even the characters, how they were designed. I just thought it looked really good.
And the crossover splash page of Earth 279.
Oh, I know. It looked really cool.
That would be a cool poster, too.
Oh, I agree. Because the mountain in the background, it just looks so nice.
Yeah, I definitely really like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so What did you love about this biscuit?
So I kind of love the giant roach, tick / creature, whatever he is. I just thought he looked amazing.
That was really cool.
Yeah, the detail on him, the weird thing on the back, the claws. I just thought it all looked really, just so different and weird. And
what's weird about it too is I didn't find it like scary, but or terrifying or anything like that. But because it was like a bug. But then that also is like, well, how do I destroy this thing?
See, that's where we differ. Because it was a bug, that's why it terrified me. It's like a giant bug. Like, what are you supposed to do? Burn space? I don't know what you can't burn in space. So
you get a gigantic can of Raid.
Yeah, big can of Raid. But yeah, no, I loved him because even his eyes, they were glowing. I thought that was great.
I love the cover.
Oh, it was amazing. I loved the backdrop of it, like I said, with like the warp drive look and everything, and they're just coming at you. I thought that was amazing.
And on there were 2 covers for this book, but we got the cover that was by the interior artist too, John Dillard, and him and Edgar did the colors, and I was like blown away.
Oh, very impressed. It was really cool looking. That should definitely be one on our wall.
And what did you think about the overall character dynamics?
Oh, I thought it was great. Honestly, my favorite character was Reva. I thought she was amazing. She's such a badass. She had such cool costumes. I just loved how she was dressed from the very first page from 1920s to the very last page. I just thought every costume she had was just amazing. And her attitude was just so funny to me.
I really liked Israel.
I liked him.
Yeah,
he was so serious, but I think that's why the group was so good. I felt like they played off of each other. Like, you had her that she was more relaxed. You had Israel that was definitely more serious. Then you had, oh my goodness, I'm blanking. Lenos?
Yeah, he,
yes.
You know what, for me, he was like the protective mother figure.
I was about to say, he was so protective and worried about everyone, and I just kind of like that, because he was like the big, strong guy, but he was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, please stop doing that. Don't be reckless. Like, why are we doing this? And I thought that was great.
He also had the best suit in the beginning.
Honestly, I think he had the best look. I mean, that mohawk, those ears, that was cool.
Like, what was that, a zoot suit or something?
I think so. I think so. They wore in the 20s. I don't think you should wear that. I know what you're thinking.
What about that hat, though? That's pretty dapper.
I do like it.
Okay, well, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, just really excited to read the second one. I can't wait to see what happens with the community. Do they escape? Do they hurt the
first off, where do they go?
Well, that's what I'm worried about. Like, how are you just going to jump? And I think that thing's going to just keep following you. So, but I guess we'll see.
We'll definitely see. And you guys should check out all of Luke Stone's information is down below. Now, he has a YouTube channel.
That's right. You should definitely go check that out and subscribe.
Yeah, so Syndicate members, definitely click on his link down below and let him know Joshua Mammoth sent you. Also, his store is down below, so check out the Arrow Comics collection. Definitely pick up Riff Riders. Let me know what you think in the comments section, because this book was like a home run for me. Oh,
I've already read it a few times, and I'll definitely read it again.
That's what
it was just so
too.
Cool.
Is you had to read it a couple times too, because you want to make sure you get everything in there.
Well, again, the backgrounds were just so amazing. I just love looking at the computer screens and just seeing what I could see, and there was just so many little details. You could even see like an alien language was written on there. I mean, that's
that was cool.
That's like detail. I like that.
Yeah, I really like that as well. All right, Syndicate members. Well, that's all we have for you this evening, and hopefully, we're trying a new thing here where we're going to try to post up once a week. We haven't really picked a day. I guess it's been Friday most days.
Most days, yeah.
But we're gonna keep because we got a stack of reviews. So
Yes, we're excited.
I really appreciate all of the artists that have allowed me to review their work. It's been really cool.
They've been all so nice, and it's been awesome.
And we have a stack to go through, so that's why I asked Rachel to join me on here because this new format, it's a little easier to get them done faster without all the scripting, and it's more off the cuff type deal, seat of the pants, but that's kind of where I shine, I guess.
And it's been a lot of fun. So
it's definitely a lot of fun. And so that's all I have for you this evening, Syndicate members. So between the known and the unknown lies the mammoth. I'll see you next time.